I'm Storm. This is my van. It's a 2003 Chevy Astro. It's all-wheel drive, and I've been living in it full-time for 8 months. I'm just living in it while I go to school. I'm studying chemistry and math. Got my diesel heater tank here. I just put this in this winter. It's pretty sweet, just a little 2 kilowatt. You can kind of see it back there. So I've got a little sink here. Unfortunately, it's not working at the moment. I usually have a foot pump down here, and it works awesome. Just a little copper sink here that I soldered together. And I love it. It's great. It's perfect when you're in the city. If you're on a sidewalk, you don't want to have to like pour your water out on the street, right? So my whole sink compartment is in here. It's just the classic clean and gray. On this door I mounted just like some cooking utensils. This cabinet I got for free. So this is just a kitchen cabinet. I got this for free from a job site, and then this actually came with this cabinet. It was like another little piece, a door. So I got a bracket from Amazon and put it on. It's awesome. It adds a lot more counter space, and I can kind of cook outside. Just have these little hooks here for all my jackets and that. I have a little mirror here that I got from Value Village, and just kind of mounted it up so it faces up and you can kind of see yourself on it. I have a little whiteboard here for school. My reviews, my hotel reviews. Some chemistry on there. I put this fan in. I got it off Amazon. It was just refurbished, just one of like the Fantastic fans. When I bought it, the setup was pretty much the same as this, but the bed was a little bit lower, and it came out to here. And when I was in here and I had that old setup, it was pretty annoying. Like you couldn't sit on the bed because your head was up here and you had nowhere to sit. So what I did is I got these I-beams from a construction site, and I kind of mounted the bed up high so I could have like lots of storage underneath. I can actually pull this guy up to make the bed like a regular size. Like I can sit comfortably. Like it's perfect for my height. It's super chill. I could sit here all day. Yeah, it really sucks when you don't have anywhere to sit, because you're either kneeling on the floor, which lots of people do, and I don't know, maybe I'm just a wimp, but I didn't want to kneel on the floor. I mean, renting in Kelowna is insane. Just like, most of BC. It's super expensive, and so where I go to school is in Kelowna. My family lives about an hour, 45 minutes away. So I couldn't justify spending thousands of dollars a month when I could be driving, 45 minutes a day. So it was kind of like, what do I do? So financially, I saved tons of money on gas, no rent, more money to kind of just do what you want to do. And in terms of school, school's not cheap. So I haven't had to I'm not in any debt for school. Yeah, and then on the back here, just the basic window reflectors with the canvas on here. I've had these on forever. I thought I'd be taking them off and on all the time, but just kind of leave them up there. Under the bed I have just extra classic storage, some candles. What else do I have on here? Duct tape. A little inverter if I ever need some AC power, but it doesn't usually happen. I think it's 105 AGM battery, and then it just charges off my I guess my alternator. I just have one of these smart batteries, or the isolators here, that you hook it up to your starting battery. These are both hooked up to my starting battery, and then you get the isolator. This is a 150 amp fuse, comes to the battery, and then I have the kill switch here for all the power, and I think it's a 30 amp fuse box, fan, lights, the DC outlet. So I guess all the wires just kind of run up here, and they're all centralized here. I got these 4 little puck lights off Amazon. They're super sweet, and they're very bright. So I found that I had to get a dimmer, so I just got this little dimmer off Amazon too. Super easy to set up. This is a 12 volt AC that I use for my inverter that I brought out there. This is just 2 USB, not C's, USB A's, I guess, or something like B's maybe. Yeah, and then this is the little diesel heater that I talked about at the start there. Just a 2 kilowatt one. This is actually my second one. So the one I got, I think the fan was warped or something. I couldn't get it going. So I brought it to a guy in town actually that buys these from China. He buys a whole bunch at a time, and he's kind of found the best one that he likes. And he'll get the glow plugs from Korea, the LCDs from Germany, I think. And then he kind of rebuilds them, and then gives it to you for a little bit more, but at least it works. And and then you have a guy to go to if it ever breaks. So so that was awesome. I installed it myself this winter. These wires here are for the fuel pump, and they just run under here. Oh, you can kind of see it maybe down here. They run all the way across and then to where the tank is, where the fuel pump is. It gets super hot. Like, I just have it on like low the whole time, and it barely takes any fuel. These are my curtains. Family friend made these for me, which is awesome. And then to set it up, I just have this little wooden dowel, and this is actually an old belt that I just cut in quarters and then screwed up to the top. One of the cooler parts is I don't see that often, is I actually have a hammock that hooks up to this carabiner back here. So you can have like, so I've slept with a couple people in here. I've slept with 3. You can kind of cuddle up on the bed and then one person in the hammock, which is great. I just got this eye bolt and I bolted it right through. And I had a little bit of like inner tube for a gasket, and it hasn't been leaking at all, not that I've noticed. With these seats, it's only like 4 bolts. I just have like a little socket and then an 18mm up here, and you can, and it's literally just four bolts. You unbolt it, flip it around, put it down. There's no reason for a swivel or anything like that. It takes like 5 minutes. It's nice to sit here if I'm cramming for school and they shut down campus. Can sit here and kind of work on the whiteboard. Honestly, I don't use the whiteboard as much. I've noticed just because it's on an angle, and I don't know. I thought it was cooler at the time, but it's not that practical. So for all my clothes and that, I just use a duffel bag. It works fine. And then like my family lives in West Kelowna across the bridge, so I kind of just go there every week or so, do laundry, raid the fridge, and get out. I'm just kidding. I love my family. They're awesome. And then yeah, this is kind of just coffee, the AeroPress, some vitamins, and I've got another one back here, just like shampoo, basic stuff. So usually I have food in here. I just don't have any food right now. It's expensive to get good mattress, and I actually got this from my uncle. I don't even know, it's from an old camper van. It's like 3 inches of just shitty old foam. Honestly, I love my Uncle Chris. He's great, but it just reeked like smoke when I got it. It was brutal, man. It was brutal. So I just kind of sprayed it down with not Linus,
Lysol?
Yeah, that's it, and let it air dry, and I don't know, it's good enough. It doesn't smell like anything anymore, I don't think, or maybe I'm used to it. And then I guess under the bed, I just have I drilled some little holes everywhere just for ventilation. I don't think that I've had any mold problems in here, not that I know of. I think like the fan helps a lot, obviously, and the heater, that it's dry heat, is a big deal. That helps a lot too. Like, there isn't that many ways you can get dry heat. So I spray foamed it, just with a canister. It was like the 200 square feet. It was really easy, and you watch the videos and kind of how to do it, and it's nice. Like, it's pretty dummy proof in the sense that if you do too much, you can just cut it off. I think you just want to go slow and make sure you don't get any air pockets, because I've heard like warping is a problem, but I haven't had any, thankfully. And then after that, I put down some to kind of frame to put these planks on. I just used, what was it, 1x2 plywood. It was nice and bendy, and I just kind of fitted it along the ribs and that, and then just nailed it through. This is just 1/2 inch tongue and groove pine. Yeah, I honestly thought this whole thing, I thought it was going to take me 2 weeks. I really did. You watch these YouTube videos, and it's like, engineer builds van in 1 week, and it's like this stellar thing, and I was like, oh sweet, give me 2 weeks and I'll have her done. And it's been like almost 2 years and I'm not done. So with the roof rack, I wanted something where I could have like the roof deck, a platform, and then my Thule like full-time on the other side. I was looking at racks you can buy, but everything's so expensive. It'd be like over $1,000 to do it. So what my friends found at their old cabin, they found this old rusted up twin bed frame on the top there, and it had the springs on it, and we threw it on the top, and they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be so sweet, it's gonna be so sweet. And I was like, okay, like, whatever, it looks like crap. But, and then we took the springs off, and I sanded it down and spray painted it and that, and then I put it on the top, and I was like, okay, you start to get the vision. And I took it to my uncle's, and we welded it on the top with some flat bar and some tubing onto the ribs on the inside of the van, and then just kind of like cantilever the Thule across with these steel bars that we found and just U-bolted it. So I mean, you could take the Thule off no problem if you wanted. This is kind of the garage, I guess you'd say. Lots of space. I wanted to make the bed as high as I could to kind of like fit as much stuff in the back. On this side here, I've just got my gym bag, a seat, and then I'll show you this ladder. And I built this little guy just for cooking outside. I got this from what is that? A Restore for super cheap. And oh shoot, kind of had some plywood fittings here and here, and then.
This video is sponsored by DiscountLots.com. As much as it's nice to be able to live in a van and travel around, it is also nice to have a home base. And this is why I partnered with DiscountLots.com. Discount Lots is a website that features off-market listings for cheap land all over the United States. When you buy land through Discount Lots, you don't pay any kind of commission or fees, and that makes the price even lower. So there's actually some really reasonable options on there. Land that you can get for under $200 a month. They have a system where you can buy it flat out, or it's owner financed. So you can actually live in a van, not pay rent, and take some of that money and use it to actually buy some land, which is pretty cool. The website is easy to navigate, where you can actually click state by state, or you can see an entire map of the United States and find land within your price range. All you got to do is go to discountlots.com, find the property that you want, and purchase it. It's really that simple. There's also a lot of information on the individual properties that they give you, including the zoning, the GPS coordinates, Google Maps. Sometimes there's images. And if you're in a van, like a lot of you probably are that watch this, you can travel around and look at some of these properties before you actually purchase them. And you know, this might be a nice home base to actually live out of while you're doing van life. So thank you, Discount Lots, for sponsoring this video. Go check them out. There is a link in the description, and back to the video.
Yeah, so I decided to get a van and kind of kit it out, mostly out of convenience. I lived away from home in my second year of university and had a ton of fun with I lived in a house with 6 other guys, because I play rugby at the university. It was the rugby house. It's pretty gnarly. So and I just had so much fun living away from home. And I couldn't really justify paying lots of money to move out. And I started, seeing all this van stuff online. And at first I was all over the camper van, the cool camper vans with the high tops, the old Dodges. And then I just kind of went down the rabbit hole as COVID hit. I guess the reason why I moved into the van was mostly for convenience and freedom too, and school as well. I can spend all my time studying and yeah, it's just easy. Most of my time living in a van has just been going to school and totally centralized, studying and that kind of stuff. So in terms of academically, super beneficial. You don't need to, you spend all your time with the university, and it's kind of your hub. It's everything, right? It's where you do your school. It's where you hang out with your friends, and I've met a lot of great people that also live in their vehicles and go to school at the same time. So community and for me, school-wise, for sure, and freedom. Going to university and living in a van, I honestly can't believe that more people don't do it. It's so easy, because I'm at the school 16 hours a day. It's not like I'm in the little box all day, right? It's not like that. And you go to the gym in the morning. You're never, you find a place to park at where I go to school at UBCO. It's super easy. There's a place where we can all park for free, and we've never had any problems. And it's a 5-minute walk from the university, and there's showers everywhere on campus. There's a food bank on campus. You go to the gym in the morning. Campus is open 24/7 usually, so if you don't have a heater somewhere warm, you can crash for the night if you have to. You can go hide somewhere. Yeah, no, I really can't believe that more people don't do it. And it's funny, because being around such a young crowd all the time, when they ask, where do you live? At first I was, okay, well, I live at home, you kind of fake it, or I live with my buddies sometimes, whatever, I live in a van, and the response is either, holy shit, you live in a van, that's so cool, or it's oh man, that's weird, or they're sorry for you, right? So, but I think, especially with the younger generation, it's more, you know, it's super chill. Nobody cares. Everybody's all about it, right? Most people are jealous. I was used to living with like 6 of my best friends all the time, so you always have like that support network. It's a lot different, like waking up by yourself, going to sleep by yourself. That definitely took a little bit for me to get used to, especially like when you like being around people and you have a good support system. It's a lot different. Just not being around them, just not being around your friends all the time, but also. This lifestyle makes it so easy to go see your friends, and you know what I mean. You're not intruding when you go hang out with them for a night and then go crash on the street. So, and it is, I think it is weird for them too. Like at the start, we're like, okay, well, man, you can sleep on the couch, like it's all good. The houses freak me out, so I sleep on the street, man. You know, I'm sure I could buy something nicer for the same amount of money. With all the mistakes I've made and like having to fix stuff, right? But I know I've learned so much, all the electrical, all the woodwork, all like the soldering the sink, everything. Like I feel like I know where everything is. Like when I go to build these shelves here, I know where all the wires are. I hope. But I know how to fix everything. I'm not relying on anybody to do anything to help me or fix anything. Like I know how to do it, and I know every nick and cranny, and you know what's gonna break and what I have to do next or what not to do. So I think I've learned about myself that I don't need to be around people all the time. When you're sleeping on the side of the street, you know what I mean, in the middle of nowhere, like it's just you got to rely on yourself, and you're not depending on anybody else. So I think you kind of gain a lot of trust, or I guess I gained a lot of trust with myself, and just kind of believed in myself on the things I could do. Like now, I mean, it's not even done yet, and it's definitely not perfect, but it feels good to say that I've done this. And but I think what I've learned most about myself is just to kind of believe in yourself, and that you can do it. You know what I mean? And you're gonna get through anything, and all you need is yourself at the end of the day, right? The beginning, I mean, you're trying different spots out all around town. When I first started living in the van, or not living in the van, but sleeping in the van on the weekends, just at buddies' houses around town, and like kind of hanging out at their places late, partying, and then sleeping in. I mean, you do get into some weird situations. Like, for example, once we're having a couple drinks at a friend's house, and I parked near Domino's, place in the parking lot, and it was probably like, 2 in the morning. I stumbled back to the van, get Domino's, get a couple pizzas, and all I had in here was the hammock at the time. And it was I think it was December. It was cold, and I didn't have any heat or like no curtains, no nothing. And I woke up at like 5 in the morning, and there was cop cars all over the place with their lights on and everything. And I was so cold. I went and I started the van, and of course, like, the lights go up. The cops were 20 feet away. They didn't even know I was in there probably. And the lights come up. Then all of a sudden the cop car comes by, and he gets out of his car, and I go to like roll down the window because my windows are manual, and he's got a M16 on him or whatever. It was insane. And he pulls it up and goes, "Show me your hands." And I go, "What? Like, what's going on?" Like, it's 5 in the morning. And I just got out of the hammock. There's pizza boxes all over the place. And they had clothes. Like, it was just a mess. That was a mess. And he goes, "Show me your hands." I slowly roll down the window. I goes, "What are you doing here?" I go, "Man, I'm just sleeping. Like, I've just been passed out. Like, what are you doing here?" And he goes, "Okay, well, like, can I see the back?" And then he opens up the back, and there's just crap everywhere. He just looks at me. He goes, "Okay, like, cool setup, man. Like, obviously I'm harmless." Like, he probably feels bad for me. And he goes, "Have you heard any shots?" I go, "No, like, I've just been sleeping. I haven't heard any shots." And then I went back to sleep there for a little bit, and then I woke up at 8, and they were still there. I was like, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave, whatever." And I drive out, and the whole highway is like shut down. Everything's shut down. I go on Castanet, the local news thing, and I guess like there was like a shooting right like 40 yards from the van. I was sleeping, so you definitely get into some crazy situations. I guess it's like what you make of it. It's pretty funny, but I don't think my mom thinks it's funny, but oh well. I just turned 22, but I know, like, coming out of high school and coming out of university, like, there's so much, certain situations, but there's so much pressure on kids to kind of know what you want to do, like go to school, get a job, what are you gonna do? And it's ridiculous. It's such a joke. And I mean, I definitely, not from my parents or anything, I think I went to school because I liked school, but there definitely is like an external pressure to kind of get your shit together at a young age. And it's like why? Like why? Like why? What's the point? I think people just kind of gotta learn to go with the flow. And I guess another philosophy of mine would just be just love the people around you. I think with all this, like all the COVID stuff cooling down and everything like that, I hope everybody can kind of come back together, because I feel like the country and the world is divided, and it feels divided, right? Like families have different views on certain things, and I really hope that everybody can just come back together and kind of learn to love each other again. I'm on the flip phone, so I'm not on social media that much, but I guess I'm on Instagram. It's just Storm_Fisher, so my name. Yeah, give me a follow. Let me know if you have any questions. I know I had so many. I still do, but I know a lot more than I did when I started. So
if you would like to be featured on different media, there's a form you can fill out to be on the podcast or to have your van toured. And if you're interested in watching more alternative dwelling tours like this, we upload every single Sunday. So hit subscribe, and new van life and chill podcasts every Thursday. Thanks everyone for watching.